welcome to part 3 of the story of Tiger King. Now, in the last video, we did up to here that Tiger King, when he was at a threat of or at a danger of losing his kingdom, he decided to bribe the British officer by sending some precious gifts for his wife. So what he did, he ordered a jeweler to give him 50 diamond rings. And what he did, he sent all those 50 diamond rings to the wife of the Durai, to the British official's wife, and he expected, it was rather foolish of him, that he expected that the officer's wife will choose only 3 to 4 rings and will return back the rest of the rings. But she thought that all the 50 rings were presented to her, and she very happily kept all the rings. So finally, the jeweler sent Tiger King a bill of 3 lakh of rupees. In order to keep his kingdom safe, he had to spend 3 lakh rupees. You can imagine what value 3 lakh rupees had during that time when it was the British era. It was a huge amount of money. So here again, the writer is trying to show that the Tiger King, who actually thought that he was a very clever person, was not at all clever. He was rather foolish, that he spent such a huge amount of money just because he was so very rigid, just because he did not give permission to the British official to take a photograph with the dead body of the tiger. Had he given that permission, he could have saved this huge amount of money. This money could have been used for other work, for the development of the state, of the kingdom, for the betterment of the people. But no, he didn't do it. He was so very foolish that he spent that money uselessly, and he thought he was very clever and he had done a great thing. Anyways, this way he was able to keep his kingdom safe. And now he continued with his tiger hunt. He was very happy because he was killing the tigers, and he was killing the tigers every time very successfully. But then a very great problem, a hurdle arrived. What was this problem? That in the forests of Pratibandhapuram, the tiger population became extinct. There was no more tiger left. The Tiger King by that time had killed almost 70 tigers. He had almost killed 70 tigers, and then there was no more tiger to be found in the jungles of Pratibandhapuram. Now what to do? The Tiger King could not understand. He was very worried. How will he prove the prediction of the chief astrologer to be wrong if he cannot kill 100 tigers? So he was very worried. Now he planned something. To get rid of this problem, he made a plan. He was still unmarried. So one day he called his Diwan, and he told the Diwan that he has decided to get married. He said that he has decided to get married. Now this particular portion, when you will go through the text, you will find it has been presented by the writer in such a way as if the writer is trying to show that the Diwan is very foolish, talking in a very foolish manner, but actually it is not so. It has been intentionally done by the writer in order to emphasize the fact that actually the Diwan was very clever. He understood everything very well, but to give a tinge of humor, add a tinge of humor in the story, the writer Kalki, he has presented this conversation between the Diwan and the Tiger King in a very humorous manner. The Tiger King said that the Tiger King was actually brandishing his gun in front of the Diwan when he summoned him. And the Diwan told him that, "O king, I am not a tiger." The Tiger King said that no one will call him a tiger. Tiger means someone brave, courageous, wild. The Diwan was not like that. And then he said that, "I have decided to get married," the Tiger King said. The Diwan was telling him that he was already married. How can the Tiger King think of marrying him? The Tiger King then made things clear. He said that he actually wanted to get married to a girl only, and he ordered his Diwan to find a girl from such a kingdom which had a huge population of tigers. So the Diwan started his search, and finally the Diwan was successful in finding a girl, a princess from such a kingdom which had a huge tiger population. So the Tiger King was married. The Tiger King got married, and he was married with that princess. After that, every time the Tiger King visited his father-in-law's kingdom, he started killing 6 to 7 tigers every time. This way, finally, he managed to kill 99 tigers. Only one more tiger needed to be killed and he would be safe. Now this is human nature, that when we are very close to our target, we get very excited and we want to complete it as fast as we can. The same thing happened with the Tiger King. When he reached the 99 mark, when he managed to kill 99 tigers, he wanted to kill the 100th tiger as well. But the problem was that last tiger was not found in the kingdom of his father-in-law. In fact, it was not found anywhere. He could get it nowhere. The last tiger, the 100th tiger. Tiger King was restless. You can say badly, he wanted to get that last tiger and kill it and prove the astrologer's prediction wrong. So he was desperate to get that. Now, when we are desperate to get something, but we are unable to get it, we become very restless and we also become, you can say, stressful. We'll start losing our temper. This is a very common thing. It happens with every person. That when you are very close to your target, and you are trying to reach it, you are using all your effort to reach it, but you are unable to do it. You are desperate for it, but you are unable to reach it. We get very frustrated. We get very tensed. And we start losing temper. The same thing happened with the Tiger King. He was getting angry, he was anxious, he was worried, and he was very eager. He was very eager to get that 100th tiger, but couldn't get it. This much only today. The rest will continue in the next video.